What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's up, investors? Welcome to another monthly webinar here on BatchTV. My name is Kyle Redmond, the Senior Affiliate Manager here at Batch Service. And today we get the pleasure of interviewing Justin Kobe, the founder of the Science of Flipping coaching program and podcast, the founder and mentor of REI Masterclass, which we're going to talk a little bit about today, probably a lot. And to put the icing on the cake, Justin is an active real estate investor that has flipped over 1,500 homes, right? Not in one market, but multiple markets. So as a coach and a mentor, he has advised over 1,000 of his clients on how to become a real estate investor, and he's recognized nationally, right, as a public speaker. So you got to hear this. This I found fascinating. He has been featured on Fox, CBS, NBC, Forbes, the Wall Street Journal, okay, Inc. 5000, and Entrepreneur. This list goes on, guys. I can't keep going on because I want to dive into this interview. But today, Justin and myself are going to deep dive into the 4 proven marketing strategies that you can use immediately to conquer today's market. All right, so what are those 4 things? I just want to go over this real quick. We got mindset, networking, technology, and taking all out massive action. All right, so with further ado, I give to you Justin Kobe.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
What should the audience know about your journey of becoming a successful real estate investor?
I think the first thing most people need to understand is, just like everyone watching right now, I started from nowhere. I wasn't given a silver spoon, meaning during the crash, I lost my home to foreclosure, sleeping on a friend's couch. The repo man took my car, and I walked away with $40,000 of credit card debt. So I was not just broke financially, but mentally, spiritually, just all of it. I was broke, busted, and disgusted is what I like to say. And the one thing I understood was I really had a passion for real estate. Now, during the crash, I was a realtor. I was a licensed realtor, but I didn't love it. In fact, I was just an order taker. I was selling new homes, and people would come in with offers, and it was like, who has the highest offer? Great, we'll take them. I didn't have a skill set. But this was just about the time you started seeing flip this house, no cash, no credit, no problem thing.
Yep. The signs everywhere.
Totally.
Right?
And I'm like, dude, I can do that. That's fun. And this is before TV shows. So there was no like sexiness behind it. It was just a passion I had. And I went for it. And I was relentless. And I had no money and I had no anything, living on a couch for a year in my friend's house. And I just knew I could be successful regardless of my circumstances. And that's really what I want most people to understand is, I don't care where you're at right now, what's going on, where you're at financially. You can make this happen if you decide. If you commit, have intention, and take action, you can make it happen in the very same way I did.
I think that should be the first strategy we start with is mindset, right?
Yeah.
He just said it himself. I mean, everyone's calling for a recession right now.
Totally.
The yield curve is pointing downward.
Yeah.
Inflation is almost at, 10%?
Yeah.
And interest rates are skyrocketing. So, I mean, let's talk about this, right?
Yeah.
Like, where does your mindset come to play when the market is cold and when the market is hot?
You need to know what the experts know, right? That how are they pivoting? What are they doing? Why are they changing? In what ways are they changing, right? Because I'm not scared. Brent isn't scared. Pace, Jamil, anyone that is a Batch affiliate. We're not scared because we've been around this before.
Of course.
Right? Jamil and I's friendship was based around, we both lost our asses during the recession, and we really became good friends because of that, because there was a relatability there, right?
Yep.
So I would just say it's really important to stay confident but fluid. So the word I'm using a lot right now to being obnoxious is dynamic. Yep. The market is dynamic.
Yep.
It's changing. It's ever changing right now, real time.
Yep.
You, me, and investors need to be dynamic.
So networking is huge. I know you're just talking with Mr. TTP, Brent
That's
Daniels.
it.
You were talking about Pace Morby, talking about a lot of players in the game.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say your network is your net worth.
That's right.
I had an individual that was actually sitting where you were sitting named Nathan Payne, and he looked at all of the people he networks with now and does deals with as competitors.
Sure.
Okay. And it was the number one thing that held him back. And once he flipped that paradigm, He then made friends with all of them.
Totally.
Started working with them,
Yep.
and in 5 months, he 5x'd his business.
I was gonna say made more money than he ever has. Yeah,
So how do you leverage networking in your business?
It's the number one thing I teach, and it's the number one principle I practice. And the reason why I say that is because you just talked about, like, Brent and I have known each other forever. We've both been in this Phoenix market forever, right? But we've done more together than we have if we weren't friends and had that, squad up mentality.
Heck yeah.
The same thing would be said about Jamil. The same thing with so many players that most people wouldn't even know is, my student I was just telling you about. If that student didn't invest in coaching, the deal he's getting right now would not have likely gotten done. And it's because his network is now me.
Yep.
So I can get him to get that deal done because I can guide him and coach him and train him and get him to that deal. And now he gets the deal done, and now he has a network that is my network. And if you start joining people's networks, the next thing you know, your network becomes really expansive.
Yep.
And if no one has $1 to spend on marketing, and we hope you do because we want you to use Batch services,
100%.
I would tell you, your network will get you deals. Whether it's you bring a buyer to someone else's deal, whether you have a deal that someone has one of your buyers, your network will make it happen, right? And I say this all the time to my students, whatever you're looking for, put it out in the energy, put it out in the air, because your network will have it, but most people don't talk about what they're looking for, right? They just kind of keep it inside and kind of whisper, I'm looking for that first deal. I'm looking to raise $100,000. I'm looking to, but they don't really put it out there, right?
Yep.
So I would tell you, your network is absolutely everything, especially if you're just getting started. Your network can help you get your first deal hands down. But I would tell you also put some brute force, put some sweat equity into it. I mean, no reason not to actually go do, right? Again, Batch services, some of the cheapest, most valuable services you could possibly use. And I don't mean cheap in like what you get for, I'm just saying for the bang for your buck. Like, you don't need a big marketing budget. You don't need $50,000 like Justin Colby's has a month. You can have 500.
Yep.
Right.
And you don't have to have multiple tools. You just use ours and you have one.
Totally.
What is your favorite marketing technologies and how are you leveraging them? And this could be like Facebook ads, Google ads. This could be Batch, whatever.
I love Batch services for several reasons. So I'm a big cold call and text guy.
Beautiful.
Well, so you have the dialer, you have the skip tracing, right? You have the text.
Yep.
I don't really need to go anywhere. So I love that for almost all investors. I don't care if you're a seasoned investor making all the money in the world or you're just getting started. That is a game plan, period, end of story.
Of course.
But beyond that, I would also say, like, technology is social media. Goes back to the network. Social media is incredibly powerful, to the point where I was even just talking to my videographer today, like, I'm back to using Facebook. Doesn't that sound weird? I'm back to it. Like, Facebook went anywhere. But I've gotten so obsessed with Instagram that, like, everything I post tends to be on Instagram. And I started realizing, wait a minute, I have, like, personally 5,000 friends because they cap you there. And then I have all these subscribers to my public figure page. Why am I not using that? And interestingly enough, that led to me potentially partnering in raising some capital on a 20 unit bulk package in North Carolina because I went to my Facebook, which basically I kind of forgot of, to be very frank with you. And it just works. Facebook still works. It's still around.
Especially Facebook groups.
100%. Facebook groups is huge.
Money.
Huge. If you're not in the Batch Facebook group, I think everyone watching probably would be, right?
We got Batch Facebook group. I mean, I'm in the TTP group. I'm in the Pace Morby group. I'm in the Sub 2 group. Shout out. Yeah. All of them.
Yep. 100%. It is huge. You can raise money there. You can find deals there. Buyers, agents. It's amazing. So I would tell you, technology is everything, right? One component is what we talked about, which is Batch, but the other can be like, how wide can you get? Meaning Facebook, Instagram. I mean, shoot, TikTok these days, right? RJ
Bates, shout out. He's killing it on TikTok. He's got like 1 million views on some of his videos.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So, anyways, I just think to your point, Zolan using the MLS and tech, I also think people are just undervaluing social media in our space.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there.
And that's networking and technology together, right?
That's exactly right.
And the last one is taking action.
Let's go. This is the biggest one.
The biggest out of all of them, because you can have all the tools in the world.
That's it.
Right? But if you don't take action and utilize those tools, you're never going to be successful. You're never going to see an ROI, right? Like
Totally.
that's one thing that I see a lot of people that just kind of like get in their head and hinder their success because they don't just take action, and they got all of it.
And,
right?
and dude, it frustrates me as much as anyone as a coach. Someone has paid you a lot of money, good money that they've worked for, that they save for. And I'm laying out a blueprint, exactly, step by step, exactly what you do, exactly what you say, where to go do it, how do you, everything. And then they don't do it.
Yep.
And you just go, why? Why? Like, just go do it. And now I know the answer of why. The why was hypothetical, but the real answer is fear of failure.
Yep.
What happens if I fail? What happens if the buyer doesn't like it? What happens if the seller tells me to F off? What happens if? And they what if themselves out of the business.
Yep.
So that part I'm very aware of. But I'll tell you, just take action every day, right? Talk to buyers every day, talk to sellers every day, build your network every day. And if you are patient, all those things will pay off.
Yep.
You don't need to set the world on fire and go get a deal in your first 30 days. I would love it if you all did that. I would love if you did that.
Yes.
But the reality is, if you take incremental progress every single day of your life, you'll look back a year from now and say, oh my God, look how far I've come. The challenge is people what if themselves into fear so hard that they just get frozen, right? Yep. And I coach students, thousands of students a year at this point, and that is the number one thing, right? Is it's harder for them to get out of their own way. They're their own hurdle that they have to overcome.
And it's uncomfortable, right?
Totally.
New things are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Talking to people, it's uncomfortable.
Strangers, let alone
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you got to live there,
That's
right?
it.
You got to live there. You got to. What is the saying? You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's it.
Right.
That is
Like
the
you
saying.
have to live in that space, and that's how you prosper.
If you guys can connect to that, if you guys can find a way to connect it to something more than just money, I think you guys are all going to be incredibly successful.
I agree. And just showing up today and watching this, I mean, that's your first step.
100%.
Right? Showing up. Wow. This has been great.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
So much information. I know it's a lot, guys. I hope you're taking notes. You got to take action now and apply. So where do people find you? How do people find you online?
I think the easiest way is social media. So Instagram is the Justin Colby.
Okay.
Obviously, Facebook is Facebook. YouTube is a great resource for me right now. So go to youtube.com/Justin Colby and, hit me up. Let me know you're here, and I'm more than happy to help you guys in any single way I can.
Love it. Anything else you want to drop on the masterclass?
Get to the masterclass, man.
Get there.
We're going to be talking about how to raise private money, how to build an Airbnb portfolio, how to use the best marketing systems, Batch, how to, build long-term rental portfolios, how to flip luxury homes, how to build an automated business that essentially is automated. I mean, it's just going to be in-depth. And then how we are pivoting. So I have some real good special guest speakers that are going to tell you exactly what they're moving towards here in the coming future. So it'll be awesome.
And it's at the W.
It's at the W.
And
Let's
it's
go.
at the W. Who doesn't want to be there,
That's right?
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it, dude.
And until next time, as Jesse Burrell would say, let's get it.